This story is set in a time when the world has been completely devastated due to climate change and a severe shortage of water. There is no longer any place fit for human life, except one, a fertile region in Australia known as the Motherlands. This area is still a green valley with clean drinking water. Here we see two girls, Furiosa and Valkyrie, picking fruit from a tree when suddenly a group known as the Riders arrives. These riders are desert bandits who kill animals to survive. Furiosa, acting quickly, secretly cuts the fuel pipe of one of their bikes, but one of the riders sees her. She immediately flees and blows a whistle, alerting the people nearby. Her mother, hearing the whistle, realizes her daughter is in danger and rushes toward the forest on horseback. But before she can arrive, the riders capture Furiosa and take her away. Her mother, Mary, chases after them, kills one rider, and takes his bike. She finds that the remaining riders are taking Furiosa to their leader, Dementis. They tell Dementis that Furiosa is from the Green Valley, where food and water are clean and abundant. Dementis asks Furiosa to reveal the location of the valley, but she refuses to speak. They then bring in a wounded soldier who knows the location, but before he can say anything, Furiosa kills him. Impressed by her bravery, Dementis locks her in a tent, surrounded by guards, and declares they will begin the search for the valley the next morning. Meanwhile, Mary disguises herself in rider clothes and sets out to rescue her daughter. A massive sandstorm gives her cover, allowing her to locate Furiosa, kill several guards, and escape. But Dementis' men see them fleeing and give chase. Mary knows that if Dementis finds the Green Valley, he'll destroy everything. She tells Furiosa to protect the valley and separates from her. Dementis finds Mary and tortures her for the valley's location. Furiosa, having not gone far, returns, and Dementis offers to spare her mother if she reveals the location. Mary refuses and is burned alive in front of her daughter. Dementis imprisons Furiosa again, hoping she'll eventually give in. She is placed with a man who reads the stars and tells her that if she wants to survive, she must become valuable. He teaches her to read stars and planets, and she secretly draws a map on her arm to guide her back home. Later, while searching for food and water, Dementis meets a wild man from a place called the Wasteland Fort, who claims to have an abundance of resources. He offers to show the way if Dementis helps him. Dementis agrees, and they head there with their army, but near the fort. They're attacked by a loyal clan under a leader named Immortan Joe. A fierce battle erupts, forcing Dementis' forces to retreat. Refusing to give up, Dementis later finds a war tanker returning from the fort. His men hijack it, hide inside, and use a Trojan horse tactic to infiltrate the fort, killing guards and opening the gates. Dementis takes over the fort and captures its leader, then marches to Immortan Joe's stronghold, threatening to destroy the fort if his demands aren't met. He declares himself ruler of the diesel town and demands more food and water in exchange for half a tanker of diesel. When the deal is rejected, he kills the old leader. Immortan Joe notices Furiosa and asks who she is. Dementis lies and says she's his daughter, but Furiosa reveals the truth. Dementis burned her mother alive. Immortan Joe offers to increase fuel shipments in exchange for Furiosa, intending to use her for breeding. She's locked in a boat with other women. One day, Joe's son Rictus tries to assault her, so Furiosa cuts her hair, makes a wig, and wears it to bed. That night, when Rictus sneaks in, she deceives him and escapes. Despite a search, they don't find her. Years later, Immortan Joe's army builds a massive war tanker filled with weapons. Furiosa, disguised as a boy, helps in its construction. She hides food and a motorcycle beneath the tanker. Planning to escape once it's completed, the driver named Jack is on a supply run to Dieseltown when Furiosa secretly hides underneath the war tanker. As the tanker passes through hostile territory, it is suddenly attacked from above by a group of raiders. Many of the warriors guarding the tanker are killed in the ambush. One of the raiders discovers Furiosa and attacks her, damaging the motorcycle she had brought along. Furiosa then joins the fight and helps Jack fend off the attackers. During the battle, her helmet falls off, and Jack realizes she's a girl, hiding her identity while trying to escape. Together, they manage to defeat all the raiders, but then Furiosa turns on Jack, holding him at gunpoint and forcing him to stop the tanker so she can steal it. However, Jack cleverly knocks her off and drives away, leaving her behind. Disheartened and alone in the desert, Furiosa is about to give up when she sees Jack returning. He tells her that her fighting spirit amazed him, and that while she's skilled, she's still unrefined. He invites her to join his group, help him rebuild his team, promises to teach her everything about road warfare so she can achieve her goals. Furiosa agrees and becomes his second-in-command. Over time, a deep bond forms between Jack and Furiosa. Jack even gives her a gun and tells her that she is free to go wherever she wants. She'll provide food, water, and a vehicle. They then travel to Dieseltown, where they're ambushed by Dementis's men and are forced to retreat with an empty tanker. When they report the situation to Immortan Joe, he becomes furious and declares war against Dementis. He orders Jack and Furiosa to take the empty tanker to Bullet Farm the next morning and bring back as much ammunition as possible. That evening, Jack and Furiosa meet on a hilltop. Jack notices the map Furiosa has drawn on her arm and asks her where she truly wants to go. She then shows him the seed her mother had given her and reveals her plan to escape. She invites him to come with her, saying this is their best chance. Jack agrees. The next morning, as they set out with the war tanker, Jack stops midway, loads a car with supplies in 2 bags, and gives them to Furiosa. However, as they enter the fort, Dementis's men attack. Jack gets trapped inside with the tanker, and all his companions are killed. Furiosa tries desperately to rescue him, but Dementis's forces surround her. Jack urges her to leave him and escape, but Furiosa refuses to abandon him. She fights off the attackers and manages to save Jack, getting him out of the fort. They flee in a car, and Furiosa tells him that they need to head east, a journey of 3 days until they reach the salt flats. From there, Furiosa and Jack realize they must continue their journey on a bike. But Dementis's men quickly catch up using shortcut routes. In the ensuing confrontation, Jack is shot and Furiosa is wounded in the arm. Dementis then rams their vehicle with his massive monster truck, flipping it over and capturing them both. Jack is tied behind a bike and tortured as hunting dogs maul him to death. Furiosa is chained to the back of the monster truck and forced to watch Jack die before her eyes. Amid the chaos and dust kicked up by circling bikes, Furiosa manages to escape, but at the cost of cutting off her own hand. She also damages the monster truck before fleeing, preventing them from following her. The next morning, we see Furiosa making her way toward her fortress when a man on a nearby hill sees her and helps guide her back. She then informs Immortan Joe that Dementis has taken control of Bullet Farm and is now advancing on Citadel. Joe confirms this with his binoculars and prepares for war. A massive battle breaks out between their forces. Meanwhile, Furiosa, weakened and disoriented from the loss of her hand, is still burning with the desire for revenge. She learns that Dementis is fleeing the battlefield and crafts an artificial arm for herself. As Dementis escapes with a few allies, Furiosa hunts them down one by one. Though they try to mislead her by scattering in different directions, Furiosa tracks and kills them all. She spots a lone rider who mistakenly enters enemy territory and is killed, leaving Dementis completely alone. Trying to hide in a sandstorm, Dementis is eventually found by Furiosa. When he attempts to shoot her, he realizes his gun is empty. He tries to run, but Furiosa chases him down with her car. Eventually, he surrenders, and Furiosa ties him to the back of her vehicle. Torturing him just as he had tortured Jack, she reminds him that she is the same girl whose mother he burned alive 15 years ago. She then hangs him from a tree and slowly burns him the way he burned her mother. Time passes, and we see a tree growing from the remains of Amanda Mentis. It turns out Furiosa had planted the very seed her mother gave her inside his body to give him a slow, poetic death. When the tree bears fruit, she distributes it among pregnant women and smuggles them away in the war tanker, giving them a chance at a new life. This marks the end of the movie. Let me know in the comments which movie you'd like me to cover next. And if you enjoyed this video, Make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more.